And the Sixers select Kenny Payne. That's what it felt like to me, Mike.
No,
it felt like Kenny Payne all over again.
You're not going to play the Kenny Payne card 5 seconds into the low post.
I'm playing it up. Right. I can't believe this. Okay, I'm watching this draft. DVR is the best way to go. I can fast forward through Dick Vitale. It actually wasn't that bad. I did watch one of the segments. Anyhow, they get to the Sixers pick. 3 guys that I'd really like them to have are there. Like, I'm Mr. Expert. But you know what? Based on the Sixers brass, maybe I know as much.
Absolutely.
And they're sitting there, and I changed. I didn't want Eric Maynard as much. I wanted Jeff Teague for his upside. And they take this guy who's still there. I'm like, oh, please, please. I was hoping somebody would draft him. Drew Holiday. Looks like a really good guy. I like the way he speaks, his character. Looks like a good guy. But you know what? The Sixers didn't work him out at all. He didn't come to see the Sixers. That doesn't get brought up very often, but Stefanski brought that up in his press conference when he announced the pick and who he got. He wouldn't do a workout for the Sixers. He thought he was a top 10 pick. They interviewed him in Chicago, but they didn't even interview Drew Holiday ahead of time.
You're not
Your
pleased.
thoughts?
You're not pleased, are you, Stark?
No, I could do this whole segment myself.
I'm not pleased. I'm not pleased either because this doesn't make sense. It's very possible that we could be wrong about Drew Holiday. That's very possible.
I'll admit it when I am.
We saw. I saw him play up close in the NCAA tournament. And I thought he was about the 5th best guard on the floor in that game. And that's not, and he's 1 year out of high school, did not play the position the Sixers want him to play in college. The last time he played it was in high school. You could get a finished they could have gotten a finished product to meet their needs, and they chose not to, and then acknowledged, hey, this guy's not going to help us next year. Now, are you that low on some of the finished product point guards in the draft, like a Ty Lawson? Are you that low on a guy like that you're willing to say we're going to take this guy who's going to help us 3 years down the road when you know you need help now because of the Andre Miller situation? This didn't. Of course, we can be wrong in assessing a player. And the Sixers have shown the ability to be right about guys that nobody else really talked too much about in recent years. Of course we can be wrong. But this doesn't make sense in terms of the composition of the Sixers team and what their goals ought to be for the short-term future.
That's really well put. 44-44 last year, 2 years in a row making the playoffs. They, last year, when they signed Elton Brand, made it sound like we are close to contending. Now they're saying, this guy who we just drafted at 17 isn't going to give us anything next year. He's not going to be a major contributor. That's what you're saying. Sure, will he play some minutes? You were looking for somebody to step in and be your starting guard if you don't re-sign Miller. And that's probably the way they should go, because they could use that money for Miller to go get themselves a shooting guard to play the 2 position.
So the plan, as we're saying it here, is let Miller go, freeing up money to go out and sign a guy who can score, another guy who can score, and then hopefully the guy you draft in this draft can play point guard now.
Right.
Well, they're telling you that Drew Holiday is not that guy who can play point guard now. So it doesn't make sense even if we're wrong about Drew Holiday.
Exactly. Even if he winds up, and it's going to take 3 or 4 years for him to really develop into it. He hasn't done it. You know what the film that Stefanski said he watched? His high school film. All right, so how he compared with a kid from Compton as opposed to how Teague did against Lawson or how Lawson did against these guys. Lawson can hit the outside shot. Eric Maynard can hit the outside shot. Am I correct here? Holiday's not a very good outside shooter.
Well, not that we've seen.
So far, you have not addressed your point guard situation. You haven't addressed your outside shooting situation. So how are you going to help Elton Brand, who obviously needs somebody to kick the ball out to who can hit the outside jumper, when it just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. We are baffled, and we hope that we're not the ones who are smart, and the Sixers are baffled. But that's sort of how it looks to us.
It does.